You're wrong about Diablo 4. Uh-oh. Here we go.
All right, so just over a month ago, I released a video called Diablo 4 Isn't What You Think It Is. And in this video, I covered many of the concerns that the community had about Diablo 4 before its beta release.
Okay.
This was my first big hit as a content creator. It's over 200,000 views, and for somebody that's as small as I am, it's a pretty big deal. And one of the things that I learned from this video was that I really shouldn't read too many comments.
Yeah.
No, not because they're going to hurt your feelings, but because they can cause seizures and permanent brain damage.
I like this guy. Yeah, I like this guy. This guy's a nice guy. I like him.
If this is your first time to Legendary Drops, welcome. My name is Ian. I like to talk about RPGs and MMOs. I try to maintain a relatively balanced, introspective, and optimistic look when I'm talking about the various topics around games that I love.
I'm totally delusional.
About a month ago, I made a video where I provided evidence to support my claims that the Diablo community was being overly pessimistic and skeptical around the release of Diablo 4.
Yeah, but if you tell people they're wrong, that doesn't make them wrong. That makes you wrong for telling them they're wrong. Don't you understand that? He doesn't get it.
Now that we've all had the chance to see more content on the game, I've been able to develop my own impressions of the game. You've been able to either play the game or watch somebody else play it. I felt it was time to come back and tackle this topic once again.
Okay.
I want to disperse this cloud of negativity around the game and probably piss some people off.
Great. Thank God.
First, I would like to address what I believe is a seizure-inducing comment. It's a common accusation that I see sent towards content creators and just
that he got paid to do it. Like,
about anybody that has a positive view on Diablo 4 for being a paid actor.
There it is. Yep. I see. I fucking I read the same comments that he does. Like, no, it is not true that every single person that has a different outlook on a video game is some sort of fucking Illuminati Matrix agent that's out there to spread disinformation about a video game. It doesn't happen. Sometimes there's people that just think good things about games.
A shill or just a genuinely bad person for showing any interest in a Blizzard product.
Yeah.
I disregard these takes. It's sheepish behavior.
It is.
You have no actual opinion. Comments like those are not only unintelligent, but they show an inability to engage with the topic and have a constructive debate.
Yeah, but you see, there was like a meme that I saw, and it was like a girl that was reading a book, and the book was titled List of Reasons Why Not to Do This. And she says, that's not going to stop me. I don't know how to read. And I think that's the situation that we're in right now. Is that you are never going to get people to listen to this because they have already decided that Blizzard is bad. Okay? And they can't be wrong. How can they be wrong on their own internet? They pay their internet bill. You don't pay their internet bill. And you're going to try to tell them that you think that they should have your opinions? That's it. It doesn't matter what's true. It doesn't matter if you can see something and it's like you can look at it and it's an apple and someone's like, I can't believe that's a hamster. This is a fucking hamster. Guys, look, it's another fucking hamster. I can't believe it. They gave us another one. This is disgusting. It's not going to happen.
It's no different than being in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Somebody drops a solid diss on you, and the only thing you can come back with is your mom.
No, I report them. I report them to Xbox Live. I get them suspended.
Guy that sees everybody saying happy birthday to someone, and they walk up and say, now you're 1 year closer to dying. I'm not saying you aren't allowed to dislike or criticize the game. You vote with your dollar just as much as anyone else. However, luckily, looking at the consensus, you're being outvoted. And for good reason.
Woo! Oh, I'm gonna have a honey bun, boys.
For me, every game is...
Where are the honey buns? I think they're I gotta get some more of those.
Judged on its merits, not on its development.
Yeah, I gotta get some more of those,
I recognize that this doesn't apply for everyone. I believe that I can disagree with the actions and the controversies with Blizzard, but still be excited or hopeful for games that they can produce. I don't believe in ethical consumerism.
I don't care about ethical consumerism. Big difference, okay? Is that I am not going to make an argument that, oh, this matters or this doesn't or whatever. No. If I want to do something, I do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. And that's it. I never think any farther than that. And there are people that spend all their day trying to rationalize their actions, and at the end of the day, I don't agree with that. I think that you can very easily, there is a spectrum of ethical consumption that exists under capitalism. And I don't care. It's that simple.
Every person watching this video owns or continually...
Occasionally, I will make my own decision. If I feel like something is problematic, I will choose not to buy it. But that's it.
Supports products that are potentially made under unethical circumstances. If you dig deep enough, I'm sure someone on Twitter can find something that someone did 10 years ago behind the dumpster at a Wendy's.
Yeah,
Does
probably.
that make any excuse for the actions of that company?
It was me.
No, it does not. Does it immediately make you a bad person or mean you support their poor practices because you're engaging with their products? No.
Well, but you do, though. The truth is you do. Whenever you support their product, you promote, you give them money. I am so sick of people that are trying to look for moral high grounds. Please stop this. You only have one life to live. Why are you spending it trying to capitulate to people that don't like you? What is wrong with you? If you want something, then go out there and take it. Stop looking for everybody to pat you on the back and tell you you're a good boy for doing so. I hate this.
Does not. We compromise our morals every day to fulfill our needs and wants. It is what it is. I want companies to be ethical. I want everyone to be treated equally.
I want a good game. That's what I want. Unless it hurts somebody else. What if I told you that Twitch is owned by Amazon and Amazon actively suppresses unions, which are in this day and age, I'm not saying that unions cannot be problematic, but I feel like the pendulum is very far on the other side, and unions would probably be better for Amazon workers. So I would argue that you are on Twitch. You are supporting Twitch, which supports Amazon. And you are hurting people by doing that. Embrace it. Stop trying to play games with your own mind.
I want people to be held accountable. I would rather Blizzard have a different CEO. However, I think I can hold those opinions and still enjoy a good game.
Let's talk about the game.
I can even praise a good game when it's good.
Okay.
Why? Because while there are venomous snakes in the upper management of many of our favorite game developers, there are also hardworking, passionate developers
He's right
that are
about
underneath
this.
them
But it
that
doesn't
genuinely
matter.
want to bring you and I the best game that they can possibly
That's nice.
make. Continuing on with the theme of trust, I would like to tackle the accusations or implications of Diablo Immortal in the criticisms of Diablo 4. I get it. You feel burned. Blizzard burned you.
No, bro. Anybody that got burned by Diablo 4, or sorry, by Diablo Immortal, they put their hand in an oven and they said, bitch, bro, I burnt my hand. I can't believe it. How did this happen? How could this happen to me?
You, for some odd reason, thought that a mobile game wasn't going to be pay to win. I still say today that if Blizzard didn't announce Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon, I don't even think it would even have been newsworthy. Beyond that,
that's true.
They didn't even have any plans for a PC port. The community is the reason why we got a PC port.
That's true.
I don't understand why people believe that this is something that is just confined to Blizzard. Every single AAA developer across the board that has any type of noteworthy IP has a mobile game.
No, From Software doesn't. There are developers that do not have mobile games. This is true. I don't know if Rockstar has one or not. I legitimately don't know. But I know From Software does not have one. I'm sure maybe another one does not have one. There might be a couple of other ones. Again, at the end of the day, yeah, Bandai does, though. That's right. True.
Predatory microtransactions to make sure that they can milk every single dollar out of every single person that is terrible with their money. Personally, I disregarded the game the moment that it was announced. And it's not anything unique to Blizzard. This is just how all mobile games are. The only thing unique was the way that they announced it. They targeted their core audience. They targeted the Diablo
PC
community.
Gamers.
They targeted you. Ignorant, and it severely damaged their reputation. However, Diablo Immortal only shares a name with Diablo 4. Outside of that, these two games have nothing to do with one another.
Oh no, they're pretty much the same. I mean, like it's got the same systems in a lot of ways. Like you've got imprinting in Diablo Immortal. You level up. There's like world tiers in Diablo Immortal. No, there's a lot of different things in Diablo. I played Diablo Immortal. This guy might have written it off. I didn't. I played the motherfucker. I got to level 60. I did the whole goddamn game. And you know what? He's right. It sucked. But I fucking found out that myself. It sucked dick. But guess what? It does have things in common with Diablo 4. And I'll go a step farther. Thank God. Because there were some good ideas in Diablo Immortal. Being able to see other players out in the open world. Being able to inspect people in the city. That's cool. And I'm glad it's in Diablo 4. So yeah, there are things that are the same with Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4.
If you're one of those people who are genuinely hesitant to play Diablo 4 because you think it's going to become Diablo Immortal,
I think, right?
Or maybe you're one of those people that are on Twitter or in the comment section on YouTube or spamming in Asmongold's chat saying, "CatDany, this game's going to be pay to win, just wait."
Yep, just wait. It's not pay to win yet, but it will be. Yep, there you guys go. Good one. CatDany is going to be pay to win. Just wait. No, guys, it's not. Not yet. Ain't gonna fool me again.
You have a fundamental misunderstanding of how the economics behind video games work and just how players interact with microtransactions on various platforms. As it stands, pay to win thrives on mobile, but it typically dies in premium. Now, I'm not saying the developers haven't tried, nor that they won't try again in the future, or that maybe even some of them have actually been successful.
Oh, yeah.
But what I am saying is that typically when they do try it, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work as well.
Blizzard knows this. Gamers engage with...
No, he's right about this. People say, tell that to Genshin. How much does it cost to buy Genshin Impact? Nothing. So is it premium? No. So he wasn't talking about that. Uh-huh. Learn to listen.
And premium titles in completely different ways. I think the best example is the difference in value proposition and barriers to entry.
Yes.
If we take a game like Path of Exile, and it started selling player power, items, gems, or levels, it wouldn't have the player base it has today.
No, it would
Nor
not.
would they be able to make nearly as much money as they do off of cosmetic microtransactions.
However, the stash tabs are incredibly fucking useful. And if you're playing the game without those stash tabs, I would argue you're at a disadvantage.
Why? Because we value our time differently depending on the games we are engaging with and
That's
where
true.
we're engaging with those games. We want to farm ARPGs. We want to grind levels and items. We want to enjoy the repetition. Removing that through pay for power removes the value of the game and limits its ability to reach a wider audience. Now, let's add that same scenario to a game that's charging a premium price that isn't free to play, and you see a title that is actively turning away players from playing it. Think about it realistically just for a moment. If Blizzard introduces pay for power, what would happen to Diablo 4?
People would probably stop playing the game. Realistically, people would stop playing Diablo 4. They would say Blizzard lied, and we hate Blizzard. Same as Immortal? No, it's not the same as Immortal, because Immortal doesn't have a $70 box price. It's not a PC game. He's right that many of the games nowadays, and you think about the games that are they're either mobile games or they are free-to-play games, they are almost always the pay-to-win games. There are very few games that you have to spend money in order to buy this game that have heavy pay-to-win. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they are the minority, at least for now. Yes, World of Warcraft.
Would it thrive? No. It would die. Which brings me to the barrier for entry. See, typically in the Western world, we don't use mobile as our primary means of gaming. Mobile gaming for us is always in short bursts. It's when we're on the toilet or when we're at work.
Yep.
Also on the toilet.
Yes.
Everybody has a cell phone. However, premium titles have various barriers to entry. Think about it. You have to have a TV or a monitor, a console or a PC,
Yep.
a reliable internet connection to download, install, and even play the games that you want to play. On top of that, you actually have to have the money to invest to even buy a new title in the first place.
That's why, especially in places like, I know like poorer countries, mobile gaming is extremely popular. Because the people there have enough money to buy a smartphone, but not a gaming setup. And so they're all sitting there farming these freemium games.
The investment to play premium titles is so much higher, and as such, when we purchase games, we're hoping that they're going to return our time for investment.
Yeah.
We want to play these games for 2, 3, 5, 10 hours at a time in one sitting. We want to put 30,
Sometimes,
40, 80, 100, thousands of hours into a title.
Potentially.
And paying microtransactions to decrease that investment actively undermines why we purchased the game in the first place. Now, you could say, but Ian, what about sports games? And you're right. Pay for power mechanics do work in sports games, but that's both a product of sports games
I don't play
and
sports
culture,
games. I have no idea.
and the amount of time that those people invest in playing those games. They play it in short bursts, a lot like mobile gamers do. I would love to dive into...
I mean, each different genre for gaming is going to be totally different. The way people, like, for example, you can't have pay for power in, like, an FPS, competitive FPS. You just can't have that. Like, and nobody's going to buy that because somebody wants to just get shot by somebody that has, like, a better, you know, like a better fucking gun because they spent money on it. Sure, absolutely. But, like, other games that are, like, sports games and, like, things that are, like, much more diluted and they're single-player games, it's much more easy to do that. And again, I'm sure that, yeah, Garona, Free Fire, Crossfire, like, yeah, games like that, sure, they're pay to win. But that's not the majority, and we're talking about PC gaming. So, like, I do think mobile gaming and PC gaming is very different. It is just fundamentally a very different thing. And I think that it will continue to be the case just by the nature of the way that people approach PC gaming versus mobile gaming. It's the same as like somebody watching television versus watching a movie. Somebody watching YouTube videos versus watching a movie. Each person is looking for something different, and that group of people is going to have different expectations for each person.
Sports games and their microtransactions, but I feel like that's kind of for a different video. If you guys would actually like to hear me discuss that in the future, just drop a comment down below.
Yeah, you've got to compare things.
These
in the
are my
same
theories
genre.
and opinions. I'm sure that they are shared by financial experts at game studios, or at least considered before putting predatory microtransactions into a game.
Yeah, boy.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of these devs want to have the predatory microtransactions. It's just that they know that it will alienate the user base. And that's just how it is right now. Now, obviously, it's very clear to tell, that you can tell, that a lot of what these companies are doing is they are trying to ease PC players and PC gamers into microtransactions. They're trying to ease them into battle passes, ease them into pre-ordering, ease them into just a little bit of power. They're trying to get you into it, right? Because after that, they can make even more money with you.
To put it simply, it's easier for people to find value in spending $2, $3, $10, or even $50 on a mobile game in short bursts because they're only playing it for a limited amount of time. And they're not only just limited by real life, but they're also limited by the game itself, where they have these time walls in place to keep you from making progress. That transaction makes less sense to a user when considering the value and investment of playing premium titles. Blizzard likes making money. They want to make it the smart way. In Diablo 4, we want to get stronger on our own, because that's the core gameplay loop. Now, looking cool, that's a different story. There's money in looking cool.
Well, I don't think that's really that much. It is definitely different, but at the same time, I think a lot of people would rather, I think if you ask gamers, would you rather be able to earn these cosmetics in game or have to buy them on the store? I think that if you asked 100 gamers about that, you'd probably get 95 of them that say, I want to be able to earn them in game. Right? Of course. Yes. But the reason why they put them on the store instead is because they can get away with it without having people quit the game. It's that simple. If every single player quit the game because they added a microtransaction into World of Warcraft, WoW would get rid of microtransactions tomorrow. And they would announce an apology from Bobby Kotick. He'd be like, guys, I'm so sorry. This goes against the core of the game. I don't know what we were thinking. This was awful. It was disgusting. We would have never, ever believed this. So thank you so much for showing us the light. We will never do microtransactions again. But the truth is that they can add these into the game and people won't quit. That is the cold, honest truth. Whereas if they add in pay-to-win mechanics, people will still quit. That's just what happens. I've seen it happen for 10 years. We all have.
The only pay-for-power transaction that I could see eventually making its way into Diablo is faster mount speeds. And even that's a stretch given the size of the game's map and the availability of teleporting. Now, I'd like to take a moment to talk about some of the major changes that we've seen come to Diablo. And it's some of the things that, to be honest with you, I share similar sentiments on.
Okay.
I get why people are upset. I understand that you don't like the always online, and I understand that some people...
who cares if you don't like the always online? It's not going to change. Just shut up about it or don't buy the game. Like, they're not going to change this. That's it. It's done.
Don't like the live service model.
Yes, that's it.
You got to understand, Blizzard right now is doing what Blizzard always has done best. They're stealing from other games and trying to make sure that this title appeals to a much larger audience than it ever has before.
Yep, that's right.
And for the most part, they're succeeding in doing so. See, I hate to have to do this to you, but sit down. We're getting older. And
no.
We don't have the time to play games like we used to. And because of that, Blizzard and other developers realize that they can't just appeal to their normal target audience anymore. They've got to widen the scope. Even though we're the ones that put them where they are, they don't want the fans of Diablo 1 and 2. They want the kids playing the Fortnites.
And that's good. That's what they should want. I want them to want the new gamers. They shouldn't just keep trying to appease an aging audience. It's a death sentence to do that. I want them to make the game for the new audience, for the new generation of gamers. And they're different than we are. And we're different than the guys that were before us. That's what they should do. It's smart.
They want the kids that grew up on Destiny. And that's what these live service models are for. It's for the longevity of the franchise. They don't want the neckbeard.
Well, no, it's because the live service model works. It fucking works. Every single game wouldn't be adopting this model if it wasn't making money hand over fist. That's why they're doing it. It really, I mean, like, it's not complicated, is it? Of course they're doing it for that reason.
They want the Zoomers and the Coomers and everything else under the sun.
No, that's
just kind of the way that it is. I mean, I do kind of find it odd that we keep criticizing Blizzard and Diablo 4 for being a live service title, while also in the same breath constantly comparing it to Path of Exile.
Which is a live service title.
A live service title?
Yes.
So speaking of Path of Exile,
I like live service
we should
games.
talk about the competition. Diablo 4 is not actively trying to compete with any ARPG, and especially Path of Exile. I would argue that they're not even trying to target any of PoE's audience.
I think that they absolutely are. Of course they are. There's going to be people that go from PoE. I don't think that you're going to have a lot of people that are going to probably quit Diablo or quit PoE to play Diablo 4 all the time. Because Diablo 4, by the nature of it being a more casual game, is going to have a much shorter seasonal gameplay loop. But what they're hoping to do is to get people that play PoE to play Diablo 4 seasons in between PoE seasons. Or, I'm sure PoE is going to probably, I would bet that they're probably not going to try to release their seasons at the same time as the Blizzard seasons. Because it's bad for both games. Because you have ARPG players that are going to go and they're going to play PoE and then they're going to play Diablo. And then they're going to play PoE, they're going to play Diablo. Or they're going to play Last Epoch or whatever. It's the same thing that happened with Classic WoW and Warcraft Retail. Is that Retail WoW has a patch and then Classic has a patch. And then Retail has a patch and then Classic has a patch. It just makes sense to do this if everybody is simply acting in their own best interest. That's it.
While we don't know exactly what Diablo 4's endgame is going to play like, we can already see initially that it doesn't seem to have the same kind of depth planned that Path of Exile does.
No, I don't think so.
And I think that's on purpose.
Yes.
We see the simplistic design in their stats and their skill trees, and even on the equipment and itemization. It's all built for a broad audience.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, there is some markings for some decent diversity in builds and styles.
Oh yeah, the
However,
Paragon system is going to be complex.
Diablo 4 isn't aiming to be this mega mind, gigabrain, 100 intelligence, 5,000 IQ game that Path of Exile has become.
Yeah.
Diablo 4 won't have 30 or 3-hour leveling guides and build videos. It's built in a way so that Ted, who just got off of work at Lowe's, can come home.
There it is, the casual Diablo 4 enjoyer. Ted, bro, he doesn't even know about this whole sexual harassment lawsuit thing. He's got no fucking idea. He's been wondering for the last couple of years, why the fuck haven't we had a BlizzCon? Bro, I miss BlizzCon. When are we going to do another BlizzCon? Come on, man.
He can put his kids in bed. He can sit back on his lazy boy.
They're the majority.
Beer, hop on his barbarian, and just whirlwind through dungeons.
Oh,
it's 100%.
I got bad
fine
news for
us
Ted.
hardcore players to take issue with that. Us fans of the franchise to dislike it. However, I think it's entirely different when we start saying it's poor game design, or we write it off as a bad game when it's purposefully designed to be palatable for a larger audience.
Well, I think that it is a bad game for a lot of people. It's that they're not the target audience for the game. It's like that game that we saw earlier. It was an MMO with fucking these little stupid characters that looked like they were 8 years old. And it's like, you know what? 10-year-olds deserve their own game, right? I mean, we've got Diablo. They've got to have some stupid little fucking game, right? And it's just not for me. It's not a horrible game. I don't hate this game. It's just not what I'm going to play. So I feel the same way. I think that's how they should look at Diablo 4. It's like if you're all into like, you know, fucking masterminding like some PoE build or some other like really complex old school game build like EVE Online or something like that, then yeah, it might not be for you. And that's okay, but that doesn't make it bad. It's just not for you. Like FIFA is a great game. I fucking hate it. I hate that fucking game. Every time I see it, it makes me mad. Fuck that shit. I hate that trash game. But other people like it. And I'm not the target audience.
Diablo 4 doesn't need to kill Path of Exile. It doesn't need to include the
won't.
creative mechanics of Last Epoch. It just needs to find its own place and develop its own community.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to do that just fine.
Well, it already
now,
has.
I'm not saying that Diablo 4 is going to fail fans of the franchise.
That's a fluffy cat.
Really, dude? As someone who loves Diablo, I'm genuinely having a great time playing the game. And I think there's some things that are going to go away. I think there's some things that are going to get fixed. I definitely believe that like elemental resistances are probably not going to last very long, as it's just a system that doesn't really seem good for a broad audience.
I don't think that there's really much of a purpose of elemental resistances in Diablo 4. I don't see them adding any sort of unique gameplay. I feel like they're just, it's an unnecessary system that adds nothing. And I would contrast that very strongly with PoE. Because Path of Exile resists are incredibly complex. And there is a lot of tuning knobs to them. And that makes them interesting. But other than that, Diablo 4 resists? Who gives a fuck?
When I see things like that, it actually gives me hope for the future of the game. That means that there's still uber nerds that work at Blizzard that think things like farming multiple sets to fight for different dungeons, like old school World of Warcraft.
Nobody wants to do that.
That kind of gives me hope that...
No, nobody wants to do that. Look at New World. New World did that. People fucking hated it. So apparently that's not what people want, so let's not do it. Okay. All right, well, there it is.
As we get more exposed to the endgame systems of this game, things get better and better, and Blizzard sees how the players interact with these things and improve them over time.
Too bad.
Graphically, the game is gorgeous. The Vista points are awesome. Each class feels fun to play, except for Barbarian.
Yeah, true.
The voice acting is absolutely superb.
It's
the
great,
music
yeah.
is great, the sound design is spot on, and the story so far is pretty decent. Diablo 4 has the foundation, the framework, to not only be critically, but commercially successful. Beyond that...
It's going to be commercially successful. A lot of people are going to buy Diablo 4. We've had over 1 million people. These are either people who are pre-order Andes or double down enjoyers that hit level 20 within a 3-day period on the beta. Bro, Diablo 4 is going to pop the fuck off. Double downers. Yep, there it is.
Due to that strong foundation, the game holds serious potential to become a mainstay in the ARPG community. Something with far more replayability than, say, Diablo 3 after Reaper of Souls.
Yep.
I think there are a ton of valid criticisms to levy at Diablo 4, and it's important to discuss all of the issues that we have, especially the things like repetitive dungeon design or concerns about itemization. However, I think in the same breath, we can also respect the game for what it is. A solid game. Blizzard has been doing really well with Dragonflight, and it seems like some of those lessons learned have been starting.
And I've said multiple times, I am happy with Overwatch 2. I haven't played it, so I mean, what does that really say? But it's just because I've been playing other shit. I've been busy doing other stuff. I'm happy with minigames and not playing them constantly. I like Overwatch 2. I think it's good. It's better than Overwatch 1. I like it more than Overwatch 1. I like Dragonflight too. I think it's pretty good. And you know what? People are pretty happy about Diablo 3 season recently. So how about that? Yeah.
To be applied to Diablo 4 and maybe even hopefully some of their other products. Please bring back Heroes of the Storm. If Blizzard mistreats their employees or makes a bad game, we should call them out. If Blizzard makes a good game, it's okay to say it's a good game. I think
that's what the problem is that people are like all one or the other. And I think that like if you are everything is bad or if you are everything is good, I think that is equal delusions. Because you're not looking at things based off of what they are, you're looking at them based off what you want them to be.
There are a ton of valid criticisms to send towards
it's
Diablo
fundamentally
4,
not reality.
especially with the repetitive dungeon design and some of the issues with itemization.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, I think we can respect the game for what it is. A solid game.
It's a Diablo game.
I think that we should be able to call out Blizzard for the mistakes that they make. Whether it's their mistreating of employees or just poor practices as a business. But I think it's also important that when they make a good game, that we can say it's a good game.
Well, of course it is, because if you say everything is bad, nobody's going to take you seriously because they can't win you over. They can't win your approval. They can't make you happy. It's like, yeah, there's no reason to try to appeal to somebody who's already made up their mind.
Diablo 4, it's a good game. Anyway, I thank you guys for watching the video. There's been an insane amount of people that have been joining the channel lately, which has been a bit on the overwhelming side, to be honest with you. I try to make sure that I stay varied in content. I don't really want to get just holed up in one game. I do plan on making more Diablo 4 content because it's probably going to become a mainstay game that I play quite often. I will stream it quite a lot as well.
I hope it'll be good.
But I just really don't want to get myself holed up in one game. Like Blizzard, I want to appeal to a broader audience. So anyway, thank you guys for watching.
I think that's smart. Somebody says you can't say yet if it's a good game, but the beta has been good. Well, everybody knows that. Like, we all know that you can't write a rain check on the entire game being good based off of the beta. We all know that. Like, we can have a conversation without having to add in that disclaimer every second, because most people are smart enough to realize that whenever you say the game is good, what you're talking about is the part of the game that you've played. Everybody just kind of, like, I think most normal people get that.
If you guys ever want to hear me cover any type of topics like this around other games, or just want to hear my thoughts on anything else, hop down in the comments. I'm always listening. See you guys next time. Cat's laying down.
I think this is a pretty decent video. I do think that I don't think this is a good idea to make videos like this, though. This is my opinion, because all this does is it just enables... It's like trying to pull a toy out of a dog's mouth. It's like if you just pull it a little bit, you can just like get the dog to let go of it. But if you try to fucking pull that bitch out of his mouth, he's gonna... You're not getting that motherfucking toy. Nope. That's right. Yeah, because it's like you get people to just double down on their opinions. Because you're never gonna get people to change their mind on something. Because they've already made up their mind. And they're not stupid. So if they change their mind, then they're stupid. But they're not stupid. You're stupid because you think that they're wrong, and they're not wrong because they're not stupid. That's it. It's literally that simple. You're not going to fucking logic somebody out of a position they didn't logic themselves into. Somebody that looks at Diablo 4 and says, wow, this game is so awful. Oh, it's so bad because of these different reasons. And then the reasons don't even make sense. Well, This is not a logical opinion. So you can't go and say to this person, well, go look at all these points of view and then, at the business model. And it's like, because it's not based off of the business model. It's not based off of the current economy. It's not based off of the market extrapolation. It's not based off of market research. It's based off of, I fucking hate this piece of shit. I played Diablo 3. It fucking sucked. This one's gonna suck too. That's it. That's it. You're not gonna. That's the real fucking point. That's where they're coming from. Yeah, Blizzard bad.